Okay, gang, forgive me if this video is a little bit disorganized. This story has more twists than a crazy straw. So, in Canada, a woman by the name Mackenzie Dawn Hardy got arrested on quite a few charges. These include possession of property attained by crime under $5,000 twice over, impaired operation of a motor vehicle, which was dropped, flight from police, which was dropped, drive while prohibited, lowered to suspended, fraudulent concealment, possession of a controlled substance, and driving without insurance. And yes, I am reading this straight from her own TikTok, straight from her own comment. So yeah, that all happened, and of course she got arrested in March. However, she was released from custody in late April. Now you might be thinking, oh okay, was she found innocent? Was she framed? Did they just decide to let her off with a warning because she seemed nice? And the correct answer is none of the above. What actually happened was the courts got some paperwork that said, hey, that Mackenzie lady, her charges are now stayed. She has suffered enough, let her go. By the way, stayed charges are when a judge or a crown decides that it would be bad for the justice system for the case to continue. This means the issue of guilt or innocence is never determined. A judicial stay brings the case to an end. Alright, so the courts received these papers and then they said, fair enough, G, and they let her go. And then a little while later they realized, oh no, those papers that said to release Mackenzie, yeah, those are faked. They were forgeries. Bruh. Bruh. So yeah, a fat L was taken that day by the Canadian justice system. Now, someone from the RCMP said she does not pose a huge risk to public safety, and they're very lucky that that is the case and they didn't release like an actual terrorist or something. I mean, of course it's not good that she was released, but you know, could have been a heck of a lot worse. Now, okay, so the hunt was on for Mackenzie again. And of course, she's not overly excited to turn herself in, so she goes on the run. Now, hypothetically, if you were on the run from the cops, if la policía was on your colita, what would you do? I know, personally, I would take the opportunity to, you know, reinvent myself a bit. Get a new hairdo, change up any facial hair that I may or may not have, invest in some good sunglasses and baseball caps, and try to keep as low of a profile as I can. But not my girl Kenzie. The visionary that she is, she creates a TikTok account and then uploads this video to it.
A 24-year-old woman is supposed to be in custody at the Fort Saskatchewan Correctional Centre awaiting trial, but according to a whistleblower, Global News has agreed to keep anonymous. An alleged fraudulent stay order was submitted to the jail using fake names representing a Crown prosecutor and a defense lawyer.
That document comes to somebody in there, some staff person with Fort Saskatchewan Correctional Centre, and they obviously thought it was real.
And in case you are wondering, yes, as of recording, this account is still up on TikTok. Man, I am used to seeing dumb stuff when it comes to self-snitching on TikTok. It always blows my mind. But this one, takes the cake right here. Like, I've heard of rappers making music about being on the lam, running the race, as the cool kids say, but I don't think I've ever seen somebody get accidentally released from custody and then try to turn that into some sort of weird vlog or whatever. I'm gonna go one step further. I've never heard of somebody getting accidentally released from prison. Hey, David Dobrik, if you're watching this video, I think I found the new Vlog Squad member. Now, I just want you to join me on a little tour of this account, because truly, sometimes you just get something served on a silver platter to you that is so silly, you just have to bask in its glory, you know? Alright, next vid that was uploaded. Here we go.
Hi everybody, my name is Mackenzie, and I got a funny story to tell you guys. So, the government's fucked, and I'm an escaped inmate right now. They are not gonna catch me, because I'm one step ahead of them, too fast, for those piggies to come after me. My worker number is 213-2522.
Incoming obligatory you used the wrong to comment coming in. Now, if you're learning English, this is completely off topic, but if you're learning English and you're having trouble remembering which twos to use, the way I remember is, so TWO is the number 2, and if you multiply something by 2, you double it, hence the W. TO is when you're talking about location, like Mackenzie went to jail. And if you want to go somewhere fast, you want to take the shortest route possible. And TO is the shortest form of 2. And then you have TOO, which is, you know, too smart. You're more smart than the police officer. And more things, more O's. So yeah, here's hoping that helped one of you out there. Alright, back to what this video is actually about. So if you comb Mackenzie's comment section, you can see a bunch of people are saying what we all are probably thinking. Girl, GPS is not exactly a new technology. They're probably gonna find you because you're posting on this app that collects like every single piece of data that your phone can possibly collect. Triangulation has been around for a while, and Mackenzie actually has some rebuttal to that. She said, "I'm smart, I'm not stupid. If I was able to get out, I sure know about VPNs and how TikTok saves locations. I'm one step ahead of that." Now, I want you to remember this second sentence here. If I was able to get out, I sure know about VPNs. We're going to come back to that a little bit later. But yeah, on the topic of VPNs. Now, I'm not exactly an expert in this field, but I know a little bit about it. So the VPN is probably not the worst idea in the world. The thing is, if your VPN provider keeps logs, then the government can subpoena the VPN company, and then they can figure out who used the VPN at what time. Now, Mackenzie actually has a bit of a workaround for this that we will get into later, but for now, let's look at the next videos on her account. Alright, so the next vids here is just a pic of her and her boyfriend with a song in the background. He is an important character that we will come back to later, and then we have this next video of her dancing in front of a campfire, you know, good wholesome family fun. Then she posted a pic of her at an on-the-run convenience store. Nice little caption there. And under this TikTok, she actually elaborates a little bit more on her plan to evade the authorities while still posting TikTok. She says, "I am not using a phone and I'm not posting these vids. I'm sending them to someone else to upload back where I'm from. Smart. I am not using a phone." I would love to know if this is actually true or not. Is it true? Possibly. And the only reason I'm not immediately dismissing this is because, so the vids that she's posted up to this point, she is always kind of out of frame. Like, she's never centered in the shot. So maybe she's using a little digital camera to film herself, and then she's sending the footage to her friend to upload to TikTok, and the friend's just doing a really, really bad job of cropping the footage. But then that begs the question, what is she using to send the footage to her friend? And this is pure speculation on my end, but in my opinion, the Venn diagram of people who are going to film themselves on the lam like it's some sort of trip to Dubai vlog series, and the people who absolutely cannot put their phone down for any reason, is just a normal circle, okay? But that's just me. Alright, next vid.
Breaking news out of Edmonton, Alberta. Me, Mackenzie, is taunting the RCMP by making TikTok videos. Apparently, with these videos I'm making, is gonna get me caught. But you guys have had my back in the comments telling me to continue running and giving me support. The cops are just pissed because I'm one step ahead of them.
She is not wrong. There are people in the comments saying, "You go girl, yas queen." Because of course there are. And among them are people saying, "Girl, you should just turn yourself in. You're just gonna make it worse for yourself." And listen, I am genuinely not even mad at her for being on the run, because in the very next video she says around the same time she was released from jail, her boyfriend was diagnosed with, and I quote, "tumors stage 3, and the doctors gave him a year to live." Now, she didn't specify where the tumors were in this video, but later she talked to a news station, and the news said that she told them that the tumors were in his brain.
Hardy says she wanted bail to be with her boyfriend, who she says has an aggressive brain tumor and has a year or less to live. But after Global News reported her release on Wednesday and the warrant out for her arrest, she started posting videos to TikTok.
So, assuming she's telling the truth here, which I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt here, I probably would consider trying to dodge the law myself. What I would not do, and what I am making fun of her for, is posting all of this on TikTok in real time as it happens, basically. I feel like I say this all the time, but why do people insist on stitching on themselves on TikTok? I know a while back there was that one guy who robbed a convenience store, and then he filmed a TikTok dance where he's wearing the exact same clothing that he used to rob the convenience store. And it was filmed and posted on like the same day he robbed the place, so it was like a slam dunk case for the detective. Why do people do this? Anyways, there's a few other things in this vid that I would like to go over. She says this in it.
But I didn't break out of jail. I walked out legally. The court signed my release. No fake paperwork. No tricks.
Alright, now I'm going to go full armchair lawyer here, but if this is true, why in that comment that I mentioned earlier did she say, "If I was smart enough to get out, I'm smart enough to do all this other stuff"? That makes it sound like she had something to do with the paperwork, you know? And finally, she claims this in reference to a TikTok that she posted prior.
And yes, I make TikTok videos. And I posted that song. Not to mock the police, but because we've been through hell. And sometimes laughter is the only armor we have left.
This is what we in the business like to call shooting yourself in the foot. And I didn't even mention all the times she calls the officers pigs in her little captions. You know what? Maybe she is sending her friend these videos and her friend just hates her and wants her to go to jail, and that's why she's writing all of these like captions taunting the police. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, so remember how I said she got busted for 2 counts of possession of property obtained by crime under 5K? She elaborates on that charge a little bit more, explaining it's because she bought a van and quote, trusted the wrong people.
I'm not a danger to the public. I'm not a threat. I'm just a girl who bought a van legally and got punished for trusting the wrong people. I've got the receipts, I've got the proof, and that is coming.
Spoiler alert, that has yet to materialize on this account. I found this one article that says she was actually arrested twice in the span of a week for similar offenses. Assuming this article and her words are correct, it sounds like she bought a vehicle that she didn't know was stolen, or she didn't have the proof that she legally owned the car. So I guess her buying the van story explains one of the charges, but I would love to know what this ×2 is about here. She didn't exactly give us many details on the second charge. Alright, so the next video is the news segment that they did on her. Now, it reiterates a lot of what we already went through, but it also drops some new information, including, apparently just 2 weeks after the day she got released, she was gonna go out on bail anyway, like she'd already worked something out with her lawyer, and a week after she got released she found out it was a mistake because her lawyer told her, but as of now she currently doesn't have a lawyer, or at least at the time of this news segment. I don't know what happened with the timeline there. I'm going to assume that the lawyer just saw her posting on TikTok and was like, well, there's no helping this person, and just quit. So at the end of the segment she says she is gonna try and get a lawyer so that she can arrange to turn herself in and hopefully still get that bail. Spoiler alert, do not get your hopes up for those happening. Okay gang, I was just in the bathroom, and as I was on the toilet I decided to do a little math and came to a realization that makes this case even funnier. So the news segment said the Saskatchewan Correctional Center she was in got the fake paperwork on April 15th. Gang, I do not remember what I was smoking when I was recording, but I meant to say the 25th, not the 15th. So I'm going to assume she was either released the same day or on the next day. She said she got the news this was done in error a week later, so that would have been either on May 2nd or 3rd. The first video uploaded to her TikTok was uploaded on May 14th. Wrong date again, it was May 15th. So if my timeline is correct, this means she got out, then talked to her lawyer, realized that she got out in error and that she needs to go back to jail for like a couple weeks until she gets bail, thought about it for a bit and decided, you know what, I'm not gonna do that, and then like a week and a half later decided, hey, I'm gonna start posting on TikTok for attention, acting like I broke out of prison, start taunting the cops and flaunting the fact that she's on the run. You know, I made that comment earlier that her lawyer probably quit on her after seeing her TikToks as a joke, but I'm starting to think that that is actually what happened. And I have not even mentioned the last 2 uploads to her TikTok account. They both plug the GoFundMe that she set up, and if you look at the description of this GoFundMe, some of the claims she makes in there directly contradicts this timeline that I've laid out for you. Let's take a gander, shall we? I've been charged with possessing stolen property, but the truth is, I didn't know the vehicle I bought was stolen. I still have the proof, a full paper trail including a Carfax report, CPIC check, bill of sale, ID from the seller, chat history, and proof of e-transfer payment. I did everything I was supposed to. I acted in good faith. Okay, so I was right about the unwittingly buying a stolen vehicle part, but again, she only mentions one case of this stolen property crime. What's going on with the ×2 and that earlier comment? She still doesn't give any info on the second case. Due to a mistaken release after my initial arrest, I was suddenly painted as someone who was running from the law, even though that was completely out of my control. I didn't break out of custody, I didn't run, I was released by mistake, and once I realized what happened, I made it clear that I wanted to turn myself in the right way.
I'm an escaped inmate right now. They're not gonna catch me because I'm one step ahead of them, too fast.
Girl, literally your first 2 uploads to this account are captioned, "Thanks for freeing me, piggies," and "Too smart for the pigs to catch me." And on top of this, she has the gall to tell the news reporter and make a TikTok saying, I am not taunting the police. She's lying as if we can't just look at her own TikTok account and see the proof that she is lying. I can only imagine what it would be like for the lawyer that takes up her case. What do you even do at this point? Do you just go through the motions? I feel like at this point it's like trying to save a ship that's already sunk to the bottom of the sea. And ignoring the lawyer, I feel bad for her boyfriend. Like, let's play ball and say he does have cancer. With how blatantly dishonest Kenzie is being with her TikToks to the news reporters and with the GoFundMe, I feel like I could not fault somebody for looking at everything that we've seen just now and being skeptical that the boyfriend even has cancer. So not only has Kenzie shot herself in the foot, she probably also shot down her boyfriend's chances of getting that 5K that they're asking for on that GoFundMe. Wow. Now, as you have probably already predicted, before May ended, she did get arrested. I know, I was just as shocked as you were. But it actually wasn't just her who got arrested. An alleged accomplice, David Joseph Wood, was also caught when a patrol officer observed the two walking away from a stolen vehicle. So that ×2 has become a ×3. So this Wood guy is actually the person they suspect of creating the fake document that got Mackenzie free. Which, by the way, Mackenzie, again, said she had nothing to do with the fake document, so I don't know what she's doing hanging around this dude, but maybe it's a coincidence. That charge is just an allegation so far. Alright, so you might be thinking, oh man, they caught Bonnie and Clyde, they got her and her boyfriend. Apparently not, because this David guy is actually not her boyfriend. Mackenzie did tell the news station that her boyfriend was with her on the run, but at some point I guess he dipped and then this Wood guy joined her. So yeah, a completely new character came out of nowhere. I would love to know how he's linked to the two, because I refuse to believe that this dude decided to create fake documents that would release a complete stranger from jail just for fun. So yeah, that's where our saga ends for now. Here's hoping the boyfriend beats cancer, because apparently if you look in the description of the GoFundMe, Mackenzie put they're gonna use the money to help the guy with cancer treatment and recovery expenses, even though the doctors already said he only has a year left to live. But you know, it doesn't hurt to be hopeful. And here's to people snitching on themselves on social media. Will it ever stop? Highly doubt it, and that is completely fine by me. It is always a good laugh.